I'm Kelsey McNair from North Park Beer Company. Here's your craft beer and brewing tip of the week. All these different hoppy beer styles are undeniably the most fragile and have the fastest metamorphosis from package to falling apart. And so everything that we do has to be thinking about mitigating that effect. And so oxygen is going to be our biggest enemy because we're opening the tanks multiple times on these beers. We're hooking them up to a recirculation loop. And then ultimately we're hooking up to a canning line, and we're small. We've got a 3-head canning line that is mobile. It's our own, but it is on wheels, and it does get broken down every week and gets set up, and the factors for which it stands in place change. And so when we're dumping yeast off of a tank, when we're dumping hops off of a tank, when we're opening a tank, there's always a positive source of CO2 that's going into some aspect of that tank, whether it's hooked up to the blow-off arm or it's hooked up to the racking arm or something like that, depending on what we're trying to do. We're always pushing CO2 out of the open port so that there's just minimal chance for oxygen to enter during that process. If we didn't have a bunch of different manufactured tanks with different sized dry hop ports, I would be looking at some sort of a device that I could purge my dry hops before I added them in. But in our space, it's just kind of challenging, but something that you could consider. When we're canning, one thing that we found recently is that we're not doing a TPO calculation. I know that that's not too difficult to do, but we were operating with around somewhere between 30 to 40 ppb on our C box with shaken cans, which I know there's kind of a rule of thumb that you can multiply that by 2 to get what is more of a realistic TPO number. By slowing the machine down and avoiding some jostle where the foam would actually move back and forth during canning, we were able to drop that number in half by going from 19 cans a minute to 16. And so that's another thing that you could look at in your brewery, or, just because you might be looking at fast and efficient, but you might be sacrificing some quality that is not difficult to make up for just by making your canning process take a little bit longer. There's nothing that's going to do more damage to your beer in these styles than oxygen. You've got to deal with it. To learn more about putting fully saturated flavor in hoppy beer styles, click the link below.